Okay guys, Greenwood operational video 3 down in the basement. This is a New Yorker oil boiler, Beckett burner, oil gun on there. The oil boiler's probably about 15 years old, but about 8 years ago I did rebuild it, new turbulators, fire brick and so forth inside, so that's in pretty decent shape. Hopefully get a bunch of years out of it yet. What I have coming in, I know it's difficult to see, I have 2 1/4 PEX all pipes, PEX aluminum pipe coming from the boiler. This is the in-feed side, and this is the return going back to the boiler. 1 1/4 copper, and what they're doing is they're coming across and they're going into a 30 plate heat exchanger mounted up in the ceiling. The heat exchanger, why I'm running a heat exchanger is because the Greenwood boiler out in the garage is filled with glycol antifreeze. In case I opt to shut the system down in the winter, I can close things off and I don't have to worry about anything freezing up if we opt to go away for a winter vacation. But anyway, 30 plate exchanger. Got the in-feed side coming in there, it runs out. And then what I have is I have a secondary loop. I know this is difficult to see. I have a secondary loop coming in on a separate circulator pump. So what it's doing is it's bringing the hot water into the bottom of the boiler through another circulator that's on a separate aquastat, and it keeps the entire boiler up to temperature. As long as the oil boiler stays over 135 degrees, it does not kick on. If the wood fire for any reason outside drops, the temperature drops, it will automatically kick the oil boiler back on to recover the heat in the house. A couple extra niceties. This is a Ready Check smoker thermometer. It's a remote thermometer, and what it's doing right now is it's bouncing back and forth. I've got 153 degrees coming in, and I have 137 degrees going back out to the boiler. Keep in mind there's a Danforth mixing valve on the boiler that mixes that 137 degree water with some of the 154 degree water and keeps it at 140 going into the boiler. That again is another thermal protection on the boiler. But what it's telling me is I've got 154 coming in. It's heating my internal components on the oil boiler, and it's sending 137, 136 back outside. So you can actually do a heat loss calculation or an efficiency calculation just based on those numbers. I got some other little thermometers stuck all over the place to monitor things. The neat thing about the Ready Check is it is remote. This is another sensor that that sensor I keep upstairs in the living room next to my easy chair, and that will tell me exactly what's going on inside the house, outside in the garage, both boilers, so I don't always have to run down in the basement or out in the garage to see what's going on. So Ready Check smoker, remote thermometer, you can buy them off of eBay. That's a big plus. So again, the big reason I'm running the heat exchanger is just because I didn't want the glycol from the wood boiler mixing with the inside of the house boiler. If there were ever a leak in the domestic coil, you could get glycol contamination in your domestic water, and just to avoid that, I wanted to use the heat exchanger. So I might be losing a little bit of efficiency with the heat exchanger, but overall safety of the system works real well. So I'll try to back up here a little bit so you can get an overview of the whole thing. I know it's tough to make out what all the pipes and fittings are. So send questions or comments or private message me, and I'll try to answer any questions. I sort of hope the 3 videos now give a good overview of the system. So thanks for watching. Talk to you later.